Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Angela here, and we are ready for day 151 of drawing together. We've been drawing together 151 days. I know I repeat it twice, always, but it just always blows me away how many days we have painted together. Well, you can see I've got this thing on my head. It's like, see, it's a little cherry. Ooh, there's a reason we're going to do a cherry today. Today we're going to do something a little different than we normally do. We normally do like a cartoon kind of character or something like that. Today we're just going to do a cherry. And I'm going to show you how to shade and how to do it so it looks kind of real. You're going to be using a pencil. I'm using a marker just so you can see it. But if you have a pencil, it probably is going to work a lot better. We're going to need a pencil and crayons for this. So go get your paper, your pencil, your crayons, and let's get started drawing a little cherry with a little stem on the top, okay? All right, I'm going to grab my marker here, and we're going to make it just like I said, just a couple cherries. And so we'll make the cherries down here, the round circles, then we'll have the stem go up here, maybe a couple leaves off the side. So are you ready? All right, so am I. All right, let's make it, we don't want to make a perfect circle. If you've ever seen an apple or anything, they go round and then they kind of dent in the middle. Not like a heart, but a little tiny bit. So let's try that. We'll start out with a big circle first. We'll go around. We'll make a nice circle right at the bottom. It's a little flat. And then when I get up here, instead of connecting it, I'm going to dip in a little bit. I'm going to go, oh, what do I want to do? I want to dip in like this. Just like that. So it's kind of looks like a bean almost. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to do another one here. But this one is going to be behind this one. So we're only going to see a part of it. So let's just start out with a little dip. And then we'll go out and around. Just like that. Oh, and we're going to connect it a little bit here. All right, so now we have the two cherries. They have our little dent in the top. It's where the stem kind of grows in it. Now let's go ahead and do our stems. We're going to make them kind of big. I'm going to go right up from here. I'm going to go into the cherry a little bit. And then I'll go up just like that. And then I'm going to put another one right here beside it so we can have like a thickness. So now we have the cherry stem. And then we're going to come down here. We're going to connect it at this one. We're going to come down and we're going to go into this cherry. And the same thing. Let's make it wide. Just like, well, we got a little skinny at the top, but that's okay. So now we have our cherry with our stems. We want to, when you pick a cherry, sometimes there's a leaf connected. So let's put the leaf on it now. I'm going to end the stem like this, like we broke it off, just like that. And let's do a little leaf right here. A leaf goes up to a point and then gets big again, just like that. Kind of like a sideways teardrop. This kind of looks like a duck. I like to always see what shapes look like. They're not the shape that we're drawing, but what do they look like? Now let's go ahead and put a line right down the middle of it. Now you can put mine a little curved. And you want to do this in pencil too. Well, you don't have to, but marker I use because you can see it better. If I use pencil, you'd be going, what is she doing? So now let's make a really big leaf here. Now this one's going to go underneath this leaf a little tiny bit. And let's go down to a big point and then back up again. And it doesn't even have to really, it's kind of just connected to that stem. And then let's do the same thing. Let's give kind of a big curvy middle. It gives the feeling that the leaf is curving. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some lines on there. You know how whenever we draw eyes, we have the light line, where the light is hitting a reflection. I want to draw these on here so I don't color them in. So I am going to do one, I think I'm going to do one right here. That's where the light is going to be hitting that cherry. And maybe another one up here will be like a little bean shape. All right. And I might even make a line around down here. So it really looks like that stem is going into the cherry. You see that little half circle I put around it? And maybe I'll even, let's see. I might think I'll put a little one here too. Just so, oh, that doesn't look quite right, but this is where an eraser comes in handy because I made multiple lines that now I can't erase them. All right, we're going to make another little highlight here. And let's make a highlight a different shape here. Let's make it kind of a square. And then maybe another big bean one here. All right, so it looks crazy, it looks busy, but it's going to look very, very cool by the time you're done. So what you want today is we need a green crayon, a yellow, a black, and maybe a couple shades of red. Now I'm going to start out with just my regular color red right now. I think this is just, what did Crayola call it? Crayola calls it red. So that's what we're going to use, is red. So I'm going to color my cherries in. And you can go right into all these things. The only thing you want to avoid are our highlights, where the light is hitting our cherry and it's making a shine. So I'm coloring that all in. Okay, around the corner. I can even go over into the other ones. I can get messy if I want to, because that one's going to be red too. Like I said, this is kind of a different way to draw today. More realistic. Realistic means like you could reach out and touch it. It's not like a cartoon a cartoon wouldn't be sitting at the table with you, but maybe a bowl of cherries would. So this is called more realistic drawing. It's not a character, it's a real thing, and we're trying to make it look like a real thing. There's my clock. You can always hear my clock in the background. It always decides it's going to ring when I'm doing my videos. Alrighty, let's see. This is hard drawing, like kind of upside down almost with my hand. If I was sitting down, I'd never have my hand like this. I'm going to move over to this side for a minute just because it's easier. So I can fill in better and I don't have to reach upside down. And I'm almost done here. My paper is so much bigger than yours, so it takes me a little longer to draw these in. Maybe your cherries are smaller, so they'll be quicker. All right, I've got them all colored in. Just a red color. Now I'm going to take a little deeper color. And now I'm going to try to think, where would it be darker? Where would the light not be shining on it as much? So I'm going to go over here because this cherry is over the top of this one, and I am going to color it in much darker red. Now this one, what did I get here? I got red violet, but whatever deeper red, and if you don't have a deeper color red, push harder with the red you have. Push lightly like this, and then when you go to make your shadow, push heavier. All right, so I think it's going to be darker there. It's making a shadow. That cherry makes a shadow on that. Now, I think maybe in here, it's going to be darker because it's in like a little hole. So there you go. And now let's see. I'm going to do in this one too. The one that I goofed up on and have multiple lines on. And I'm thinking my light is coming from here. I'm pretending my sun is right here and it's shining down. So that's why all those little light spots are there. So I'm going to think it's going to be darker on this side of my cherry. Oh, I'm being a little messy. I'm getting outside my lines. But that's okay too. Alrighty. See, isn't this fun? It kind of makes the cherries look completely different than just simple drawing. This is shadowing and shading. I kind of like the way I colored this one better than that one. All right, and I'm thinking because it's sitting down on a table, the bottom of it is not going to have too much light hitting it either. So I'm going to make the bottom of my cherry. And look at how I'm going in a curve. I'm not just drawing straight lines. I'm going in a curve, just the way the cherry is. And now I think I'm down here too. I'm going to put a little bit of darkness down here because the cherry is sitting on a table. Now just for the heck of it, I'm going to do a few more little things here and there. Maybe it's going to be dark a little bit right there. You can kind of make this up as you go along. Whatever you think. Maybe even have a little bit underneath the light spots. Not too much. Just a little bit, just to give it kind of that real look. And you could do this as much or as little as you want. You just don't want to put too much and get rid of all that beautiful, beautiful red you made. I'm even going to pretend that there's a shadow right here. And I'm going to go right along with the curve. And I'm going to color it just like that, like a little moon shape. Oh, I think that looks cool. And maybe I'll even do one here. Maybe there's just a little shadow hitting here. Shadows don't have to only be on the edge of something. They could be in the middle of it. I like it. I like it. You can even go in and make anything a little darker wherever you want. Depends on how hard you push with your crayon. All right. Now I'm going to stop with the cherries for right now. Remember, if you did this with pencil and you didn't have those big markers, things around it, it would look really, really cool. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my green. Now I'm going to make the green on my leaves all on the outside. All out here. And I am not coloring the whole thing, notice that? Now I'm going to push pretty hard here. I want to make this pretty dark on the edges of my crayon. What am I using? Oh, that's just called green. No special name for it, just green. Sometimes they have all kinds of fancy names for different colors in the crayon box. But it seems like I picked just the regular ones today, the one that said red and green. All right. So I have pushed, now look, I'm pushing pretty hard up there because it's going to be kind of shadowed. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to put it around the edge and around the edge here. All right, so now I've got kind of a funny looking leaf. It's not colored in. Now I want to very, very lightly use my green. That means I don't push very hard. And I'm going to fill in a little bit of that, just so it looks like a lighter green. See how I'm filling it in, but it's darker on the edge? Kind of like we did here. But this one I colored it in red first. I could have done that. I probably should have. All right. Now, I like the way it's looking. But I want to take my crayon and I want to push really hard at the edge. I really want to give it a dark line. And then I'm going to go up this side. And I'm really pushing hard. Okay? See how awesome that looks? And I want to do the same thing with this leaf. Didn't know you could do so much with a crayon, did you? All right, and then I want to make this line a little darker. That's kind of like the vein that goes down the middle of a leaf. And I want to make that dark too, because that would have a shadow on it too. And then I want to grab, what do I want to do? I want to grab my yellow while I'm thinking about it. And I'm just going to add a little yellow. Now the yellow is kind of where our sun is hitting this time. So I'm going to just add a little bit of yellow, maybe at the top of my leaf. The sun is really hitting that side of my leaf. I'm not even sure you can really see this from the video, but it really looks cool. It looks like the light is hitting it. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do the bottom one out here. There we go. All right. Now let's go ahead and go back and do our stem. I'm going to do my stem green. I'm going to leave this part up here just a little. Oh, I didn't grab that crayon, but I'll have to. All right. I'm going to color it in green very carefully. Stay in my lines. Go all the way inside of my cherry. All right. Remember, my sun is over here shining down, so my shadow is going to be on this side. So I'm going to just take a dark line. I'm going to push really hard on this side and maybe even fill right in there at the bottom. And then I'm going to take the dark line and I'm going to bring it right down this side, just down one side. And then I'll make it real dark there where the shadow is not getting it. Now, let me see. I got to grab a brown. I forgot to grab a brown. So we're going to use just a brown color and we're going to put it up here on the stem. This is where it connected to the tree. So that would be more of a brown color. And you can just color that in. And if you want to, do the same exact thing. Make some dark, whoops, I'm moving my easel here. Make some darker lines, maybe even some lines that go across. And I might even put some right down into my stems. All right, boys and girls. So this was a really different way of drawing today. It is shadowing and shading to make things look more realistic. I hope you tried it. Again, if you use pencil, then you won't have these big marker lines where the light is showing, and it'll look more realistic for you. So I thank you for joining me again for another day of drawing. Join me next week for day 152. I think we'll do something summery, maybe a giant beach ball or something. Maybe we'll do the same thing and I'll teach you how to shade a beach ball so it looks like a real beach ball sitting on the beach. So we'll see you next week. And until then, do what I tell you every single time. I can take the teacher out because I think most everybody's out of school, but maybe not. But listen to your parents, stay safe, be creative, and be kind to one another. Kindness is the most wonderful gift you can give another person. So we'll see you next week, everybody. Bye-bye now.